Hi there, and welcome back to another BobBlast. Hi, I'm Bob Burridge, and this one is all about painting windows. Remember last time, the last BobBlast, I was doing a version of windows, actually, not just the windows, but the effect of window lights coming from behind the corners or shining on the floor. And I started doing my whole series based on windows and the reflection of windows. That was kind of fun, based on my color wheel. So this video, I'm going to continue on, but I'm going to do a whole painting starting real soon. Starting out, first of all, with just sketching, giving myself the idea. Okay, so it's a strong composition. The dominant color is going to be blue. I've already started. Let's get started. So here's my colors already laid out. So the blue is going to be my dominant color. I already put the first coat on. This is one of those blue greens. I'll squeeze it out here. There you go. And I like a variation of blues. There's some ultramarine in here. Here's some cerulean blue. Just so I have a variation of this blue. I like my choices. And of course I have my white. This is actually my Utrecht gesso, and that is my white that I use, okay? Red is going to be the focal point. I'll get to that one a little bit later on. But first of all, the first step is to goof around, play around, variations of this color, knowing that my composition will have a real strong design right in here for the focal point. But first of all, I'm going to start playing. I have my large brushes, my paper towels, my fluorescent colors, Holbein fluorescent heavy body acrylics. Woo, look at those things, right? They look great, right? My hands already had the barrier cream on them. Plenty of water. Here we go. Always wet my brush with this gesso. There's the color. That's the main color. So I'm going to play around with variations of that color. Oh, I like it already. It has so much pigment. All right, now, your eye's going to go right there because it has the most contrast. I'm still working on the same color scheme. Blue-ish. I've added some ultramarine in there now. I usually do mixing off the palette. I mean, over here on the palette, but right now I like this soft look that I can get, so it looks like it's glowing. More white in here, more contrast. All right, so let me mix up some black. I have some black in here to really make it stronger. Oh, more water. See, it looks like it's starting to glow already. I make it look like it's glowing by making this darker. See? Oh. Sure. Hey. So it looks like it's all glowing. More water in my brush. Get it back to the color. Yeah, just a little bit too much. Still very painterly, so I'm still staying with that. Soft, so it looks like it's glowing. I work all over. Don't stay in one place too long. I work kind of fast. I'm trying not to work fast. It's just that I'm pretty excited about I can't wait to see what it's going to look like. See, this happens all within minutes. Oh. Now, I don't want that black to be so much like a black hole, so I'm adding some blue in on top of that. Gives it a nice variation of richness. Oh, it's very rich, beautiful. Jeez. I like to surprise myself too. More water. It's one of the things I noticed. So many of us don't use enough water. And that's how I'm going to get it to look like it's glowing. And the colors all flow into each other like that. Oh, jeez. Oh, I like what's going on over here. Oh, oh, looks like a window. Oh, man. So nice and hard right there. That's good, okay. I'm going to let this sit here and percolate. Let it dry. It's just way too wet right now. But when we come back, we'll be putting in the focal point color, which is red. I can't wait. Hey, so I'll see you real soon. We're waiting for this to dry. Welcome back, as I promised you. So what we just got finished doing was, from my sketch that I had here in my book, to do mostly a blue painting. Red's going to be the focal point. And so I told you that's the next step. So I've already done the blue part. It's dried. Look, it's a beautiful finish. I love this finish. So it's blue. I mean, look how strong this is. It's all blue. It's not another color. It may not be exactly that blue, but hey, for me and my purposes, it's blue. The focal point will be red. Okay, red, and then the two spice colors, a little bit of yellow and a little bit of purple. So now you know what I'm about to do. So I'm gonna get out my reds. This is Pyro red. Nice solid red. And here's a cadmium red light. Just so I have some variation. I don't know if I'm gonna use it. Just to kick it up even more, here's some cadmium orange. It's still in the red family. That's how I look at things. I'm even gonna put out some of that opera. Look at all the choices I have. Look at all those reds. Now, it's going to be the focal point, so I'm not gonna use a lot of red. Maybe about, 1/10 of this whole area. You don't wanna make the focal point too large. Now, the other two colors, spice, would be yellow and purple. Get them all out. Get all my busy stuff done first. There's my yellow and some violet. Whoa, look at that. It's awfully dark. And what I do when I have paint that's so dark, I don't know what color it is. And that's the beauty of this Holbein paint. It has so much pigment that I would have never known that that was that beautiful violet unless I've added some white to it. So that's why I like these paints so much. It's so much pigment. All right, so now the focal point will be red. Wet the brush. I've gotten myself some clean water in the meantime. I have my white ready to go. Here's the red. Focal point. I decided I wanted to really do something really strange. Way off to the side. I never put the focal point off to the side because it draws the viewer's eye out of the painting. This time I'm going to do it. This is one of those days. This is one of those days. So this should be about 10% of the footprint for the focal point. That's how large it usually is. This is so strange, but I like it. I just want to see what it's going to look like. I always like to say, if you have to be sure of the end result, don't be a painter. I have no idea where this is going to go, and that's the best part about this. It's like you're inventing the whole time. All right. Nice. There's my red. Now, focal point. Yellow. I'm going to add some white to that yellow. That will make it opaque. If I put that yellow directly on top of this blue, it might turn green. I'm not looking for the green. So this will just be a yellow stripe. I just want to see what it's going to look like. It sure does shine. Whoa. And now the violet. Better use a paper towel here. It's too much yellow for me. Now some violet. Add some white to this violet. That's the color I want. Oh, beautiful color. Man. You can't miss that focal point. Of course, it's the only spot in the whole place. I'm gonna blend it a little bit with my finger. Yeah, a little softer. I'm gonna bring some of it over here. Kind of helps hold the painting together a little bit. Yeah. And a little bit of yellow up in here. Whoa. I like this. All right. There. It's pretty strong over here. I might want to tone it down. And then I'm going to let it rest. I'm going to tone it down. Add some violet to that red. So it's back here. So it'll be dark away from this light source. That's a beautiful red. I've added orange to it. Cadmium orange. And some of that yellow starts to glow. Yeah, remember, this is the windows. I'm still thinking of the windows. Yeah, I'm just trying to make it not so perfect. More painterly, I guess. There you go. Starting to glow. I'll let this alone. I need to let it dry. And the next thing I do is, first of all, I never make a decision the day that I do a painting if it's done or not. I usually let it dry, put it up on the wall, and look at it for a couple days. And then I make my decision. So I never make a decision the day that I do the painting if it's done. Well, this is the beginning of my windows. I hope you're starting on your windows or continue working on your windows. I can't wait to see them. Stay tuned, and I'll see you on the next BobBlast. So you saw me finishing that painting. I thought it was finished, but then I told you that I was going to leave it on the wall overnight. I never make a decision the day I do a painting if it's done or not. I like to let it settle down. I get to settle down. I put it on the wall. And then I come in the next day in the studio, and the first thing that hits me, and I start critiquing it. Let me show you the next process that I go through. So here's the painting. It's been on the wall. And I realized, well, I kind of like where it was going, but my original concept, remember, my original concept was window light reflection. Well, it took off on a life of its own, which was kind of fun too. No, I gotta get it back. That's one of the things I like to say, stay committed. Here are all those things, starting with the letter C. And I have to make sure that I stay committed, not to keep changing my mind, all right, in the middle of a painting. We all do that. But in order for me to have a body of work at the end of a year, I can't keep changing my mind. So that's what I'm about to do right now. Get it back to my original color wheel. See, it was blue. It kind of went off into another tangent of blue, which I liked it, but it's not where I wanted it to go. And the focal point will be red. I put the red way over here. I decided that's a little bit way off. the second day. I became more conservative overnight, I guess. And so I like to play like this. So I want to get back into the original spice color, yellow and that purple. So I'm ready to get going. And so now you see how I keep changing the painting, but not to change my mind. Let's get going. So my palette table is set up near the painting. I'm not using that super big table this time. I have smaller tables. I move them closer to the table. My paints are already on the table, ready to go on top of this butcher paper, right? Nice waxy finish. So here's my red. Well, actually, here's my red from the color wheel. The dominant color will be this blue. I have that blue, plus I have some darker versions of it. And the same with the red. That's the focal point. Even though that's the color, I like to have lighter versions and darker versions. The spice color here would be yellow. And again, variations of the yellow. Bring in a little bit of that gold color in here. And the other color is violet. It's so rich. Look, it's so rich and so dark. It has so much pigment. I can't even tell you what color it is unless I add some white to it. That's, again, one of the reasons I love the Holbein paint so much. It's just pure pigment, and it makes my job a whole lot easier. I'm ready to get started right now. So here's the painting. I wanted to get it back to window lighting, right? And I want to have the red over here, but not so strong this time. So I'm going to start off with paper towels. Keep my color wheel nearby. I have that hand barrier cream already on my hands. You can't see it, so it has a nice finish on it, a nice film on it, right? Protects my hand a little bit. Take the paper towel, just a little bit of water on it, just a little bit of water. Always wet your towel and or brush before you dip it in the pigment. I'm going to change the proportion of this window light. So here we go. I'm going to start off with a little bit of white. It's going to be the brightest spot. I want this to be the brightest spot. My white happens to be my gesso. I'm going to go a little higher. Here we go. I like the proportion a little bit better. I'm going to bring it up to here too. Over here. We'll see where we go with this one. Now I want to get back to the original color, which is this color. Remember, I'm going for a reflection here. Oh, by the way, the composition is off balance, where I'm going to have a whole lot of stuff going on over here. Very little going on over here. I'm going to take that same color, making it a little bit darker. I just wanted some more contrast. That's a neat color. I like that. Yeah. It was too dark. I liked it yesterday, but this is today. I always like to say anybody who doesn't change their mind doesn't have one. Hey, here we go. Back to the color that I like. There we go. Nice. More white. I'm thinking brightness. Brightness. And also glowing. Just glowing a little bit. By adding some white and some lighter version of that color. We'll see where it goes. Remember, this is the reflection I saw on the cathedral floor in Notre Dame when I was there a few years ago. All right, we got it back to the color. Oh, better proportion. Better. This is glowing. Now to make that look like it's glowing, I need some dark in here too. But I'm gonna skip right over into the focal point right now. Focal point. Wow. I'm still gonna keep it here. Jeez. It's so goofy sitting there, but I like it. Why not? Reflections take a life on their own. They're not supposed to make sense. I'll come back and put some of this over here. Oh, more contrast. You know, if you want the eye to go somewhere, give it a lot of contrast. Like that. The darkest darks against the lightest lights. And once you get there, show them something fun. Like, whoa, that doesn't always have to make sense. Thank you, talking heads. All right. I like where the energy is. This is nice. Now the violet. That's one of the spice colors. Bring in some violet over here. Whew. Wow. Changing my paper towel. It's pretty dark. Might be drawing too much attention to itself, but that's all right. I'll let it go. I'll let it go. There we go. And I think this needs to be a little bit darker down here. That blue, really make a commitment like that. Well, oh, I like the reflection here. Has that look to it, doesn't it? Just reflecting down into here. Yeah, I like that. It's a happy accident. That's nice. And that gave me the idea for over here. And why not? Reflection. There we go. Whoa. I don't want too hard of an edge here. I want this to be more softer. More soft. There we go. There. Too much. And blend it a little bit. Softer, not to draw too much attention to itself. And I love to always put something super dark right in there. Like that. All right. Well, at least I got it out of where it was. That was important. And now it's another back into that correct direction and cleaned up the color. That was important for me to do that part too. And right now I'm rather indecisive in this area, which tells me don't do anything. And let it develop itself right now. More water, more water, more water. I like these little white spots. So I have hard edges and soft edges. I kind of like where that's going. Wow, it's so different from what I thought it was going to be. And that's what I like about this kind of painting. If you have to be sure of the end result, don't be a painter. That's the beauty of being a painter. You know, you have the right intentions, I have the color, the composition, and all of these other words too. And the whole idea is to keep painting, stay committed, and don't give up. So anyway, this is part of my reflection series. I'm sure I'm going to be doing a whole lot more. Thanks for watching on this BobBlast. And this was a little bit different. And hopefully you enjoyed this little bonus track. Take care. I'll see you on the next BobBlast.